welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. My name is Katie. Today I'm in the kitchen and I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my 3 favorite side dishes for Thanksgiving. And these are totally things that you can make at any time throughout the year. I should make them more often. I was thinking the other day, I was like, why do I seem to only make these at Thanksgiving and Christmas? Like, these are totally things that I could make any time of the year. So I wanted to show you guys these recipes, and then if you want to try them out for Thanksgiving or Christmas or at any point throughout the year, definitely do that. They're very easy and they're so good. So the first one is something that I think almost all Americans have at Thanksgiving, and that is sweet potato casserole. Mine might be a little different though. I don't put marshmallows on mine. Let me know in the comments if you guys are team marshmallows on sweet potato casserole or not. I don't mind it that way. That's just not how I grew up making it and eating it. So I cook it the traditional way that my family has always made it, which is with like a pecan streusel almost on top of it instead of marshmallows. So I'm gonna be making that. I'm also gonna be making my broccoli and cheese casserole. I call it broccoli and cheese casserole, but it's really, I guess, broccoli, rice and cheese casserole. And I do actually, that's probably the one that I make the most often throughout the year. I will make that at other times. It just makes a really good side dish for different meals. And then the last thing I'm gonna be making is a broccoli salad, which my mom started making for Thanksgiving and Christmas several years ago and quickly became a family favorite. The flavors together are just so good. So those are the 3 things I'm going to be making, and hopefully this will give you guys, like I said, some new ideas of some new things to try for the upcoming holiday season. So let's get into it.
I get so caught up in the...
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get the bacon started for the broccoli salad. So I cook my bacon in the oven, just as easier, there's less mess, and I can prep everything else while the bacon is cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and get this laid out, and you can see I have my little helper here. She wanted to help me. This is my youngest. Her name is Ellie, and she is almost 3 years old in just a few weeks. So she was, you know, helping me lay all the bacon out. And then if you've never cooked bacon in the oven, it's very easy. Cook it on 350 for about 20 minutes or so, and that's going to make it pretty crispy. It's just so easy to do, less mess. It's really easy when you're using it in a recipe like this. If I was going to make bacon like for breakfast, I would probably still fry it in a pan, but if I'm going to be putting it in a recipe, then it's just easier to do it in the oven. So while that's cooking in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and chop up my broccoli heads. You want the pieces of broccoli to be really small, like bite-sized. You don't want huge chunks of broccoli. So just cut it up pretty small. You're just going to throw everything in a bowl. This is such an easy recipe because really all you're doing is mixing it all together. It's just the chopping and prep that takes a while, but we're going to go ahead and chop up this broccoli.
I will put out all of the fire. We stumble and fall, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be
Once we get all the broccoli chopped, then we're going to go on to our red onion. We're also going to chop that up, and I guess you're going to dice it up really. You want it, again, bite-sized pieces. Everything you want to be bite-sized. So if you guys have been to my channel before, you know I always have the hardest time chopping onions because it just hurts my eyes so bad. So I had Googled like what to do, and somebody had this little trick that if you wet a paper towel and put that on your cutting board and then chop the onion on top of that, it's supposed to help. So that's why you see that there's this little paper towel on my cutting board. That's what I did. It's just a damp paper towel, and it did seem to help. I didn't have quite the hard time that I usually do chopping onions. So just a little trick if any of you guys have issues with onions like I do.
I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be
And the next thing you're going to add is your cheddar cheese. So I definitely prefer to shred my own cheddar cheese. I do that almost anytime any recipe calls for shredded cheese, just because I think it tastes better, tastes fresher than the bagged shredded cheese. So this is definitely a personal preference thing. It doesn't take very long, and the flavor is just so much better. So go ahead and shred up almost a whole block. I left maybe like a fourth of the block out of this recipe. The next thing you're going to do is add your bacon, and I started with a knife trying to cut it, but then I realized that it was just so much easier to just rip it apart with my fingers. So that is what I did, just rip it into bite-sized pieces once again and add that into the salad. And the last ingredient is some mayo. I like this Hellmann's light mayo, but you can use whatever you like. And just a few dollops of that will do. You don't want it to be like too much mayo, so just a little bit. You really just want it to be keeping the salad together. That's what's going to make everything stick. So stir it up really good, and then if you need to add more mayo, you can, but I think that just a few little scoops is enough. And that's all you have to do for the broccoli salad. These flavors together with the bacon and the onion and the cheese and broccoli is so good. This is definitely a family favorite. Okay, now we're going to move on to the sweet potato casserole. So the first ingredient you're going to need is 2 eggs. And I like to use my KitchenAid mixer just because with the canned yams that I'm using, I just feel like the mixer makes sure that it's not like super lumpy. It just makes it very smooth consistency. So then we're going to do 1 cup of sugar and add that into the mix. And then we're going to do a 1/2 cup of milk. The next ingredient is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I went ahead and melted a whole stick of butter and dumped that into there. And then I'm going to go ahead and drain this whole can of yams. And this is the Bruce's Yams brand that has been around forever. This is what my mom and my grandma both make their sweet potato casserole with, and it just works out really good. So I make sure that I drain those really good, and then I go ahead and dump those in, and then it's ready to be mixed up. The next thing I'm going to do is chop up a whole cup of pecans. I love using this Pampered Chef chopper. It makes it so easy to chop these up. And if you buy the whole pecans, they're actually a bit cheaper than the chopped ones. That's why I usually just buy those to save a little bit of money, take a couple extra minutes, and do it myself. Next, I'm going to add a whole cup of brown sugar. Then I'm also going to add a half a cup of flour and then another stick of melted butter. And I'm putting it all into this bag, this Ziploc bag, because you want to be able to mix it up really good, and I've just found that this is the easiest way to mix it up. And you'll see kind of at the end of this clip, once I've added everything into the bag, I just zip it up, shake the bag around, and it mixes it up really well and turns it into like a streusel kind of texture. So it just works really good, and then it also saves a little bit on the mess because you can just throw the bag away when you're done.
I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure.
So now I'm going to put the sweet potato mixture in first, then dump the streusel topping on top. You might have to kind of spread it out a little bit using your fingers. If it gets a little clumpy, that's fine. And then you're going to cook that at 350 for about 45 minutes.
It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.
Okay, now we're moving on to the broccoli and cheese casserole, and this is another family recipe just like the sweet potato casserole. So you're going to start with 2 cans of cream of whatever, use your favorite. I used a can of cream of mushroom and a can of cream of chicken just because that's what I have on hand, but you could use cream of celery, you know, whatever. You're also going to need 2 cups of the instant minute rice and then a whole jar of Cheese Whiz. I used the Walmart version.
Be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this.
Then you're gonna add in a big bag of broccoli cuts and mix all of that together really well.
Nothing can break me. Stars, I wanna drive a faster car. I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna be someone else. I'm gonna be myself, I'm gonna be someone else.
I forgot to get a clip of me putting it into the casserole dish, but before you put it into the casserole dish, you want to melt 1 whole stick of butter in the bottom of the casserole dish. Then put all of this broccoli cheese rice mixture on top, bake it at 350 for about an hour, and then it'll be done.
I wanna drive a faster car.
Okay guys, here's how it turned out. This is the broccoli and cheese casserole, the sweet potato casserole, and then also the broccoli salad. Don't these look so good? I swear that the sides at Thanksgiving and Christmas are the best parts of the whole meal. I love eating the sides. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. These are my 3 favorite Thanksgiving sides, and they are super easy, super yummy, and definitely staples in our family for the holidays.
Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed each of these 3 sides that I made. Let me know if you decide to try them out. Like I said, they are all relatively really easy and so good. I'm so excited for Thanksgiving and to eat all the yummy food. I hope that you guys and your families have a great Thanksgiving holiday together, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.
I will let my guard down.